Hi there, welcome to day 3 of Ruby Doomsday, Matthew Lockhart, Dr. Al-Aziz, and Ophelia Willows going up against the Detox mission in the chapter Candlepoint from Apocrypha. We will start with Ruby Doomsday drawing from the clock. Use the Omen of Good Hope to flip this to its hope side. And now if we are assembling versus soul, we'll get a bonus die. Fancy chocolates. These are a great way to reuse an ally card, whether it's a grifter or a bruiser or a vice dog. In Apocrypha, you can feed the vice dog fancy chocolates. It will suffer no ill effects, as far as I know. All right, Ruby Doomsday has a body of 4, which gives her 4 dice rolling against the fancy chocolates to get an 8. Conjure and resist are the involved skills. She has none of those. I feel pretty confident just going for the 8 with these 4 dice. Yeah, let's do it. And there we go. Fancy chocolates for Ruby Doomsday. It's a little risky, but let's go for it. We are going to use this Omen of Doom to continue investigating. This flips to the Doom side. And then we randomly recycle one of Ruby's cards. And the card we are randomly recycling will be her pink taser. And we are now revealing a sword cane. So body of 11, rage of 9. I think we're going for the body check. Sword cane has strike. Ruby Doomsday definitely has a point in strike. So that to reach an 11. Or that to reach a 9, which I think is safer, right? The math of Apocrypha, like the math in anything, I have not yet mastered. But I think it's better to try to get a 9 with 4 dice than try to get an 11 with 5 dice. Would someone work that out for me, like on the back of a cocktail napkin? And just to be safe, Ruby is actually going to use her own rage to assist herself, which will allow me 3 rerolls. So we are assisting. Here are the 5 cards. We roll a die. This particular sword cane is dangerous. How dangerous? 3. If we lose, we suffer 1 die of soul damage. We're already going to suffer damage if we lose, based on the special rules for Detox, but we'll suffer extra damage because this is a dangerous sword cane. All right, we can re-roll 3 dice if we need to. We just need a 9 or better. Easily got it. And just because I'd like to get more omens, I'm going to go ahead and use her power to recycle her hand and then shuffle the Nexus. And yeah, there's a couple of omens. And then we shuffle this, not that it matters much. We didn't know anything about the order. All right, Matthew Lockhart's turn. He draws from the clock. I don't want him to have to make a rage. Well, yeah, this rage check of 15 is pretty daunting. So let's go ahead and use the Omen of Hope. Hook up, which will give him an additional die if it's a gift. He already gets an additional die if it's a gift. It is a gift, wishful thinking. It is a mind gift. For Matthew Lockhart, that's 3 dice. It has charm and conjure. He's got 1 point in charm. He gets a bonus die because it's a gift. He gets a bonus die because we're using hookup. And he needs a 13 or better. I am going to have Dr. Z's assist, which will give us 4 rerolls if we need them. These are the 5 mutate cards. We are using the second one. This is a hidden wishful thinking. 2, discard 1 omen, otherwise shuffle the gift into the Nexus. Shoot, all right. So we're discarding this Omen of Doom, which I didn't like anyway. All right, we need a 13 or better. We're going to be able to re-roll 4 dice because we have an assist from Dr. Al-Aziz. We easily got it. We have no more omens here for Matthew Lockhart. Draw his hand up to 5. It's at 5. Now to Dr. Al-Aziz. Omen of Good Hope, Karma. So we are drawing here. If we assemble versus soul, we take an extra die. All right, here's more pollution. So we're not assembling versus soul. We have sparks, no. So pollution will be mind or body. Dr. Aziz is good at mind. He's got 4 in mind, so there's 4 dice. Hack and study. He has 2 points in study. So we need an 11. Remember, ideally we want a 14 to keep the pollution from shuffling a new card into another nexus. So I am going to use Monstropedia to boost mind. I discard it. Dr. Al-Aziz's power is when you play a wicked gift or a healing gift. This is wicked. We lower the cost by 1. So instead of discarding, we recycle. Oh, and the point being, by the way, so this gives us 1 more die for boost, and we already had the power from study, so. All right, we need an 11 or better. A 14 or better will keep us from having to seed another card out here. Just fine. There we go with a 16. So this is beaten by 16. We won't have to use this evaluate ability. This is gone. And we can now try to seal this, which, by the way, will run the dog off, but that's okay. So we need to make a rage check, 12 or better, and strike is used here. So here's the way this is going to work. 2 dice. Oh, shoot. I thought he had a taser. Oh, here we go. Matthew Lockhart, in the same place, has a pink taser. Sacrifice it to add it 2 dice. Charm and strike. Neither of those helps him. Shoot a monkey. Oh, right, we can use the boost ability of the murder board. It's wicked, so discarding it because of Dr. Al-Aziz's ability becomes recycle, and it will add that bonus die, because we're already maxed out on rage dice. Actually, I'm going to back up, because I'm doing something that I think I've been repeatedly doing since I've started playing this again. Here's what's happening with me defeating the pollution. This icon here, Minion A, when you win against it, that icon there with a little circle with an arrow pointing up and down means the current investigator or anyone at that nexus can go to the sanctify step. So rather than having Dr. Al-Aziz attempt a strike check, let's back up and have someone else do it. So Dr. Aziz is taking back, this was his murder board, right? Matthew Lockhart taking back his pink taser. These dice not in play yet. Let's instead throw the sanctify check over to Ruby Doomsday. So it's a strike check against a 12, a rage check against 12 with the skill of strike applied. There are her 3 rage dice. And we will note that Ruby Doomsday has a strike of 1. So she's got the bonus die there. We will also bring out Dr. Al-Aziz's murder board. Now here's a weird situation. Let me show you the murder board more closely. The murder board is a weird card, and it's one of the examples of how Apocrypha can't leave well enough alone, and I mean that in a good way. It's going to do weird things. It's going to make cards different and memorable. In any other game, a board with a bunch of barbed wire and nails stuck in it would just do a certain amount of damage. But in Apocrypha, this is a murder board. And it's got some very specific, you can just use it to boost a rage die, and that's what Dr. Aziz was going to do before. But you'll note that instead of just discarding it to boost rage, you can use it during the assemble phase of someone to your left or right or someone at your nexus. Right now we are doing Ruby Doomsday's assemble step for her rage check against the nexus. And when you do that, the cost to do it is to recycle it into the active investigator's deck. The active person being the investigator making the check. Now, it is Dr. Al-Aziz's turn, but currently Ruby Doomsday is making this rage check. So this is going to be recycled into Ruby's deck. But let's look real quickly here at Dr. Aziz. When he plays a wicked or a healing gift, the cost is lowered by 1. So let's again look at this card, because this is just how Apocrypha does things weirdly and specifically, and I think memorably. So the symbol with the arrows, that tells you when you can do it, before the dash there. After the dash, the most immediate bit of information is the cost. Recycle into the active investigator's deck. Recycle is a cost. It means, of course, put the card on the bottom. But by reducing the cost by 1, we're going to shuffle it into the deck, because in the hierarchy of costs, there's recycle, there's shuffle in, and then one less expensive than that is reload. One less expensive than that is just show. There's this whole list of costs, and you can move up and down the scale. So Ruby now has another murder board in her deck. And what we get from that is adding a rage die. So do I want to be 100% safe and mutate? Ruby's rage can mutate her own check. I mean, it's a 12. We don't want to fail it. We definitely want to close this. How many cards? There's 3 cards left. I think we're going to go ahead and mutate it. We're going to let Ruby's rage of 3 give us 3 re-rolls. So here we have the 5 mutate cards. We will use the second one, 1, 2. This is a, it's not a, it's not a threat, it's a nexus. So it's not fiery, it is a dangerous quarry. And let's roll a d6, hopefully for a high number. Perfect. So we're going to add +1 when we evaluate. So we're going to roll these dice. We need an 11 out of 12. Easily made it. The poor dog is gone. He served his purpose, I guess. The quarry is closed, and the cards in the quarry we would normally check to see if, 3 threats. We avoided, was that all of them? Did we avoid every, we did. We avoided every single threat in the quarry. Not very dangerous after all, are you, Mr. Quarry? All right, now everyone has to move. Where will we go next? So there are 2 pollutions and a kudzu out there. So as far as sealing them in a worst case scenario, fighting the Hayman, which I'm really not looking forward to doing. Yeah, look at those high numbers. Let's do that last and see if we can load up on Omens of Hope. So that means skipping the farm for now and going to either the woods or the cul-de-sac. The woods, we're sacrificing cards and losing was okay. That's fairly rarefied. The cul-de-sac, a soul check, we've got plenty of those. Let's actually go to the cul-de-sac next. So we're all moving over here. Technically, it's the move transfer phase of Dr. Al-Aziz's turn. He moves here, and everyone else who's left there also has to do a move. So we're all going here. It is now the end of Dr. Al-Aziz's turn. He draws 3 more cards. There's a good Omen of Hope to fill his hand up. And we come over to Ophelia Willows at the cul-de-sac. She is drawing from the Doomsday Clock. So the only way she can investigate is with affliction. She will suffer a body or rage damage, which would mean burning one of these cards. So, affliction we will play. Let's take... kind of want to save the Reaper for pollution. Oh, no. Where's the Animus? Yeah, okay. Kudzu is Animus. The Reaper would be good against that. Which, it might be in there. I definitely don't want to get rid of Dead Sea Salt. This is a lot of fun to use. So let's just take a point of body damage with the Plague Mask. Oh, you know what? Before we start, actually even before I draw, her ability, actually it's the same phase as when I draw. Examine one from your deck, then reload or recycle it. Oh, well, yeah, that makes it a lot easier to get rid of a body card for body damage. Well, here's another thing about Apocrypha. If you don't read the cards, you're going to end up wasting them. Look at what the Plague Mask does. During a damage step, which is what I'm currently in, I can reload this to decrease the body or mind damage by 2. So rather than discard a card by taking damage, let's don our Plague Mask and reload this, which means it goes on top of the deck. I now know what my next 2 cards are. What I don't know, what I'm about to find out, let's investigate the cul-de-sac. When we're dealing with ally gifts, it's going to be harder. I think the conceit is that allies love to live in the cul-de-sac. They want to stay there. It's an idyllic place. Twitchcraft, which is a really good card for Ophelia Willows. Also relatively easy for her to get. We do have a soul of 4, and it is a conjure and strike. Her conjure is 1, so we need a 10 or less to earn this card. We got a 9. So not only do I want to avoid taking a point of damage, but I want the Twitchcraft. Twitch is kind of like Sparks. So Sparks, where's the Sparks card? I think Sparks lets you take a body check and use soul dice. Twitchcraft is a similar thing. It lets you take a rage check and use soul dice, which is perfect. And you recycle it, by the way. You don't take any damage. You don't lose the card, which is perfect for Ophelia. So rather than let this 9 stand, man, what are the odds? Let's bring in some Dead Sea Salt, which is singing the praises of Dead Sea Salt. When we're evaluating, which we're doing right now, we can sacrifice this to flip a die. Bloop. That is now a 6. So goodbye, Dead Sea Salt. Hello, Twitchcraft. And Ophelia has no way to continue her investigation, so with 5 cards, she draws 1 more to get up to 6. Oh, look, who knew that was coming? And that is the end of day, what did I say, 3, 4? And it's the end of the latest day. Let's go on to the next one. I could find out by counting the cards in the clock. All right, the end of day 3. Let's move on to day 4. Oh, shoot a monkey.